Hey, what's up guys? You got Gypsy and we're back here today for NPL Week 10. So it's the final week of the regular season and we're up against the Verd. My opponent and I have both clinched playoffs, so we figured at this point in the season, given the likelihood of us potentially playing in playoffs, that we would actually have a fun Week 10 game and theme match and actually preserve any real sets we had. We plan to bring it against each other for a game that actually matters. So you already know this is going to be a pretty funny game full of some pretty heat creative sets. And kicking it off, we do have the AV lander here. So this thing is just a pretty nice, like, fat offensive mon versus his team. Got a lot of bulk, and with the assault vest, this allows me to check some of his especially offensive mons on his team, as well as potential like spec Zygarde, because this man is wild. Like, yeah. This man brought 1,000 waves, hidden power, fire to trap a Mega Scizor in the regular season, so anything's possible. And I felt as though he would potentially bring like some specs Zygarde heat versus me, and this lander is kind of deals with that, kind of. Earth Power is probably not doing too much to Zygarde though, because even with 105 like base special attack, it's still kind of weak. Zygarde is so fat, so gonna have to find another way of dealing with that. But yeah, this lander is pretty fun. I've wanted to use Earth Power for a while, and it's obviously not nearly as good as Earthquake in this matchup, but Earth Power is pretty hot. Sludge Wave obviously to just buff the Bulu, knockoffs so we're not just hard walled by Rotom, and U-turn here just to pivot out into our other mons on our team. The second one we have, we got no rocks, obviously being a Assault Vest. Don't have rocks on DNC either, but yeah, we don't need to bring rocks in this game. So the second one we have is my Suicune. This is a pretty interesting Coon set. Got enough speed for the likes of Adam and Zygarde, as well as a like max speed Hooper. Rocking the Bulldoze, like Bulldoze with a timid nature allows me to take on Nihilego. 2 occurs Nihilego, and that's pretty solid. So even with timid, I can get the 2 occur on that. It does a solid like 20 to like high 20s to Empoleon, depending on what kind of set he is. If he's like really bulky, or if he's offensive, it's going to do more around mid to high 20s. And Natural Gift here. Natural Gift, despite having a timid nature, with the Enigma Berry, it's a Natural Gift Bug, and it just blows away Hooper from full, which is pretty nice. Blizzard, you see we're bringing Blizzard and Pump this week. Don't really usually like to fuck with inaccurate moves like these, but why not? Blizzard to just blow away stuff like Zygarde, deal quite solid damage to Bulu, and 100 Pump here just to blow away stuff like Arcanine, get some decent damage on his team. The next one we have is my Alolan Persian here. Nice Technician, Life Orb Persian. This is a pretty fun set that like I've wanted to use for a while now. Just didn't really ever have Persian in another draft league, or didn't really feel like it was going to be good in a matchup, and this looked like a pretty fun set here. Snarl with Technician is boosted to like 82, I think, something like that, and it's just pretty fun to spam Snarl versus his team. Hidden Power Ice for the Zygarde. Got Parting Shot to soften the blow of attacks faced at like my Suicune and my Diancie. There's a reason Parting Shot helps my Diancie set up Gravity and potentially Skill Swap. So I've got Skill Swap here. You see Skill Swap. This is for stuff like skill swapping adaptability from Beedrill if he does bring it. Could be a pretty nice meme. Getting adaptability, Moon Blast, and Earth Powers could be just insane. Gravity helps my Landorus with his Earth Power against this team, because as I said, he does have Rotom, and he could have like Air Balloon, Ground Weeks on his team, or fight like Arcanine or something like that. Having Gravity is pretty nice. Also helps with Dancy's own Earth Power. Gravity is also really nice. Like, one of the main reasons why I wanted Gravity on this team was because it's going to make Suicune's Blizzard 100% accurate, which is pretty cool. And of course the Hydro as well, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, this Diancie is pretty nice versus his team. Hopefully we'll be able to get Skill Swap off. It also helps me versus a Wobbuffet if he decides to bring some like trapping Wobbuffet. I felt like he might bring something like Banded Nihilego, as crazy as that sounds. Head Smash Nihilego with a Choice Band kind of just can do a lot of work versus my team if stuff like Landorus is really weak into my Celesteela. So that having Wobbuffet to remove stuff like that could be a way he allows his Nihilego to capitalize versus my team. So having skill swap on DNT helps with that. The next one we have is my Scarfed Hydra with the Tailwind. If I can get a Tailwind up, Suicune can just go ham. My nice offensive Suicune. That could be really nice. Nice mono walled by Tapu Bulu set. Scarfed Outrage is something you don't really see much on Hydra, and obviously Tailwind does support stuff like my Persian, my Suicune, my Dancy quite nicely. Now the last one we have is my Metal Sound Selly. Now Selly in conjunction with Metal Sound, Round isn't actually too bad. Like you see Round here, it's just a normal base 60 sound move, but I feel like I could definitely see a lot of subs on Verd's team. I could definitely see a lot of substitutes, and the nice thing about Metal Sound is that it penetrates sub, being a sound move, as does Round. So subs won't save him. If this thing can start getting up Metal Sound boosts, drops on my opponent, I can just start spamming Round. Hidden Power Ice is just so I have like a stronger attack to hit Zygarde and the Katana and stuff. And then Leech Seed will allow me to not just lose to Empoleon. It means that I can leech on the Empoleon and just start clicking Metal Sound, which is pretty nice because after a Metal Sound, he's going to be taking a decent chunk from Round, and I'm going to be getting some nice leech back. Like, I say a decent chunk, it's probably still going to just be doing like 10 or 15 because even though I do have some investment, Round is only 60 base power. So that's going to be the team builder. We're going to have to jump into the match and see how. Alright guys, so we're here with the match, and as you can see, Verd's opted to bring the Rotom, the Katana, the Bee, the Hoopa, the Zygarde, and the Empoleon. So lots of threats. Thinking this could well be like some kind of agility or defiance set, because I have like a lot of mons. I feel like this could be like weakness policy or something, because I have mons on my team that have like coverage moves for Empoleon that are kind of weak, and if he's agility plus weakness policy, he can capitalize on that. Probably like some kind of special, like I mentioned earlier, Specs Hydra. Not sure about the Hoopa. It has tons of options. B could be anything. I was feeling like SD Pass could come for sure. Some sort of Baton Pass set. No idea about this Katana because like I have stuff like Tang on my team, stuff like Selly, Hydra. So like I'm not sure on this Katana. And he has a Rotom, which could be something like, I don't know, like Trick Band, or like, I don't know if Rotom even gets physical coverage, but something like Astonish maybe it gets, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to lead off with my Landu here. We were actually playing in call with a bunch of mates during this time, just kind of taking a chill because, as I mentioned, this match is irrelevant. So I'm just going to lead off with my Lando as he leads off with his Rotom. Now, I didn't know like what this Rotom set was going to have. Like I didn't know if he's going to stay in here. I felt like he was going to fire for HP Ice if anything. So I'm just going to go for a knockoff here. Like if he switches out, I remove an item, and if he stays in and blows me away with or tries to blow me away with a Hidden Power Ice, because I'm a Soul Fest, it won't kill. We can actually get the outspeed on him and we kill him. So he wasn't like a max speed Rotom. We weren't max speed either. We were like just 290, but he was a slower Rotom, I guess. And he does drop to the knockoff as in comes Katana. I'm just going to U-turn out because like I just want to see what this thing has. If he's like Specs Katana, I'm going to take a hit anyway. But he reveals Calm Mind, and this is wild. So Calm Mind Katana, I'm going to bring my Persian here. We get a crit there with U-turn, which actually like kind of sucked because now he's in range of Snarl. If U-turn hadn't crit there, Katana I would have needed like a really high roll to knock him out with Snarl. Snarl would have like dropped his special attack, obviously, if it hit, but he would have probably lived the hit and would have been able to fire off some like air slash or something. I'm pretty sure he had air slash because he is Calm Mind, and this thing doesn't get Giga Drain. We were talking about it after the game. So I'm going to go for Snarl here. He was in guaranteed range of Snarl at even at +1 Spit F. So that second crit didn't matter, but the first crit could well have influenced whether that Katana lived that hit or not. So that definitely sucks. But he's going to bring his Beedrill here. I'm just going to go out to my Celesteela. I want to start setting up my Metal Sounds, but he's going to go for Iron Defense here. So he does have Baton Pass, like surely, because he has Iron Defense. But it's not the sword stance set that I was expecting. So this is some nice like defense boosting pass. So I'm just going to fire off a leech here, as it will allow me to start firing off metal sounds if I choose to stay in. If he passes his boosts now, he's going to pass leech seed, so obviously I'm going to click it there, like no reason not to. As if he passes out into something like Zygarde or like a Carmine Hooper, he's going to be taking residual damage from the leech. As I'm now going to switch out into my Lando here, as he's going to set up his final iron defense. And this thing is bulky. This is a very bulky B. This thing is a plus 6 defense. I'm going to go into my Lando, just go for U-turn. As his Hooper takes, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Hooper take 25 from a Lando's U-turn, but yeah, this thing took 25. That is insane. So I'm going to go into my Persian here. As I'm going to go for Snarl. I miss Snarl, which doesn't really matter. As his Hooper is going to go for a Recycle, so I guess the turn prior he expected me to knock him into his 25% range, so we get his berry back, and he wanted to recycle that turn to put him in a situation where he'd have his berry for the following turn. But my Snarl does knock him down, as his Iapopper berry pops, and he is just going to go for a Recycle. So he's Iapopper recycle, so he's probably at this point in the match, I was thinking he must be like some sort of Carmine or like some sort of like maybe even like Toxic Stall or something like that. But I'm just gonna go for Parting Shot here. I'm gonna go into my Suicune, which can't really like reveal its heat at this point because he does have the +4 defense. So this Hooper has its defenses, I think I think Verd said it was like 900 defense or something. So unfortunately my natural gift is not going to be able to knock him out here. So I'm just going to go for a Bulldoze just to lower his speed a bit, potentially scare him out if he's fearing the Signal Beam, which could have been a pretty obvious bring there. The fact that I brought Suicune in on Hooper probably like implied to him that it did have Signal Beam. And if I was like Specs, I don't know, that may have been able to knock him out at +1 at that range of health. Not quite sure, but he's going to go out into Empoleon here. As we get a nice 22 off with the Bulldoze. Nice chip. We'll take that. The more this thing gets whittled down, the closer Suicune gets to putting in work. As I'm just going to switch out into my Lando here, just scouting if he had the hidden Power Electric. He's going to go for Swords Dance this turn. I'm just going to knock off. If I can remove the hidden Power Electric, he can't actually like take on my Suicune, and I can like 1v1 him with Bulldoze, as his Aqua Jet is going to do 47. And this turn I could have gone for the Earth Power, but I was curious to see what else this Empoleon had up its sleeve, so I'm just going to go for the U-turn here, as we do live that Aqua Jet, and going to go out into my Persian here. He's going to go for Aqua Jet this turn, as I just fire for Foul Play, as this thing was starting to whittle down my team a bit. And I'm a Parting Shot out here, going to my Suicune, so hopefully we can pop the Enigma Berry natural gift here. Now we'll see what this Hooper goes for. He goes for a Cycle there, I think expecting me to like attack him that turn, proccing his berry, as now Coon will be able to fire off the natural gift and blow away the Hooper. So at least Coon has been able to click its natural gift. That's basically all I wanted out of this thing. But he's going to bring in his Beedrill here. I think I go for the Hydro Miss this turn, as we do miss, as he's going to start setting up more iron defenses, and I guess presumably wanting to pass out into his Zygarde. So going to start Hydroing up, as he's going to go for his last iron defense, and I just lower his speed a bit because, you know, plus 1200 defense Beedrill or whatever it is at this point can be a little slower. You know, I prefer that. I prefer a slower B if I can get that. He's actually going to reveal the Focus Energy here, and this is interesting. If he's like some kind of Scope Lens Zygarde, he can just spam like Draco Meteor, for example. Obviously I have DNC, but he may have some kind of tech to deal with that. So he's going to go for Roost here, as at this point Verd was asking me in the call if I was gonna Blizzard here, and I just proceed to Hydro. The turn he goes out into Zygarde, I believe, as he does Baton Pass. No, I Bulldoze there, as now he's going to bring in Baton Pass, and my man wanted to show off the tech, so I'm going to click Hydro Miss here, as we miss, as he's going to reveal the Gigavolt Havoc. So I had a feeling he would have some way of wearing down Selly, or some kind of tech of hitting Celestealer. I assume he had Sludge Wave on the set. Pretty sure he did have Sludge Wave on the set, which is pretty sick to hit the Tangrowth. As I'm just going to miss the Blizzard here, and a crit Shockwave is going to do a hot 39 to Suicune, as now I can just take him out with a Blizzard. So that was definitely an interesting game. A pretty fun one, no doubt. I know obviously like it was like a one-sided score, but Verd's memes were hot, and unfortunately I think his Empoleon was supposed to be Defiant, but it was incompatible with Natural Gift, which I guess he didn't realize like before the game. So that's pretty unfortunate. He had a nice plan in mind of getting a Defiant boost and like natural gifting my Celestealer or my Suicune or something like that, which would have been cool, but of course it's incompatible, so he couldn't go through with that. But Empoleon still put in the work, whittling down Lando and Persian, so that was pretty fun. Unfortunately didn't get to use my Selly's Round or Metal Sound or DNC's Gravity, but it was pretty cool to see Suicune go in like that and just use its Enigma Berry. So it's going to be the game. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a pretty fun one. I know there were a lot of people salty in the chat about my Snarl Persian. So shoutouts to the people who are whining about Snarl Persian in the spectators, man. You just can't please everyone, man. I tell you, like you bring Enigma Berry Suicune and people just complain about that. So what can you do? Obviously, hats off to Verd. Like he is the meme master, and he brought some hot sets. It'll be fun to see how he goes. If we do end up facing him in the semis, I'm not facing him in round 1. I'm facing Rob Jr., which should be a fun rematch. Verd goes on to face Cheese, and that will be an interesting game for sure. It'll be fun to see how our respective rematches go, and if we are faced up against each other in the semis, that's sure to be a fun one, no doubt. Hope you guys enjoyed. Go check out Verd's side. I don't know if he's uploading this or not. I think I don't know if people are doing week 10 uploads. I don't think everyone is, but I'd say a few people are. So if he is, go and check his channel out anyway. And I'll catch you guys next time.